NXT that debuted on the 2nd of May 2014. Before we get into the show, my Raw review messed up, it went green. Technology, woo. Though I feel with how long a shelf life of a review of a weekly show is, the time and effort to go and redo it is lost. So we'll just chalk that down as a fail on my part. Also, this whole YouTubey thing, I want to try and get a bigger community going. I've got a friend who's WWE TV, and I've also been subscribed to by a channel called The Wrestling Cave. There's some crazy American dudes that do some absolutely mental skits, like wandering around pretending to be Damien Sandow, or selling razors because they are Razor Ramon. Basically what I'm saying is, I'm new to this, so I want to get a community going, and also I'm a whore. So subscribe to me and send me a message saying, subscribe me back, I will. Because I can sell my friendship. NXT kicks off with Tyson Kidd coming out. He's in the ring and we wait for his opponent. It shows this lovely scene of a boat and some lovely fields. And Bo Dallas emerges. This is his new entrance, which I assume we'll be seeing on Raw soon. And he comes down, sort of almost does the facing backwards Jericho thing, but above him it says, Believe. And there's lots of thumbs up. All the crowd getting these thumbs up everywhere. But this is a fairly good match. Nice back and forth. Bo, not the most amazing, innovative worker of all time, but he's a good solid worker in the ring, and it's just his gimmick and his creepy ass smile that get him over. To the point where the NXT crowd hated him, and now they sort of love to hate him. We were getting Tyson Kidd's chants, but then it also turned into, and we got chants of, let's go Tyson, let's go Bo, let's go Tyson, let's go Bo. And it was good back and forth. They're actually quite even with the crowd reaction there. Bo Dallas has added a nice running bulldog to his repertoire. So he runs towards the corner, over it, and hits it. It's a little bit like a Stratisfaction, using the turnbuckle instead of just the ropes. It's nice and smooth. I hope this becomes one of his signatures. It's a good, nice spot. And I really do like Tyson Kidd's, I'm going to hold onto the ropes, flip over, land on my feet. It sort of shows some flexibility in those shoulders, and then gets him out onto the outside. And then when he's on the outside, that gives Tyson a chance to kick Bo Dallas straight in the face, and then hit a lovely neck breaker off the top. Basically, he dives over his opponents, grabbing their neck and putting it into the ground, and gets a pin over Bo Dallas. This is a huge win for Tyson Kidd. Which is funny saying that since he's a previous tag team champion, but that was a long time ago. And he's really not got much star power to him now. But maybe this is a kickstart to his career getting back on track. And I can see this then being almost Bo Dallas's swan song. He's getting prepared for the big leagues, and I can't wait to see what he does when he comes to WWE. Because last NXT, Paige was made to relinquish NXT Women's title, we've got a women's tournament going for the NXT title, which I actually find quite funny because there was a tournament for the last winner of the title, which was Paige. Oh well. And the first people in the tournament we get is Bayley. And again, Bayley's got a brand new entrance. I wonder if that means she's going to be coming up soon. And it is amazing. I love this character. She's sort of just a young, naive girl, but it just works so well, and I can see it really resonating with a lot of the younger audience as well. So basically, she comes down onto the entrance ramp, and then wacky waving arm inflatable tube man, wacky waving inflatable arm tube man, blah 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 blah. Damn, that's hard to say. But yeah, these giant waving tube men have popped out either side of the entrance ramp, and Bayley goes over to them and gives them a big hug. This is amazing. It's such just a positive gimmick. And if this is her entrance in WWE, this will instantly get her over, which I can't wait to see. But we're in the ring, and her opponent will be the boss, Sasha Banks. Again, a good heel. And she's with Charlotte Flair, who is going to be a future champion. The lineage there. We get the one-on-one between Bayley and Sasha Banks. Charlotte is not a part of this match at all. She's just out there supporting her BBF. No? BFF. Brave, fierce females? Bold, fierce females. But Bayley actually shows that she's got quite a nice arsenal of moves here. Gets whipped into the turnbuckle, runs up it, jumps off, and as she jumps over the boss, she manages to catch her in a nice arm drag. Also then get her utilising her hugs as she hugs Sasha and rams her into the corner. She bounces out, hugs her again, rams her into the corner, and goes for a third, but Sasha gets the leg up, catches it, throws it through the rope, so now Sasha's back's to her, and slaps and slaps and slaps. Not the most ferocious move of all time, but as sort of quite a child-like mind of Bayley, is just a funny little moveset. And the crowd actually respond to it quite well, especially because the BFFs have been on Bayley's tail the last few months and making her life a bit of a hell. Although Sasha Banks managed to get in control herself, returns all these slaps to Bayley's back. So a bit of a receipt there from Sasha Banks. Bayley manages to connect with the belly to Bayley suplex, which is her finish. I didn't like this overly too much, because she hit it, and instead of sort of like bouncing away straight away, Sasha kind of waited a second, then rolled away, making it look like Bayley's finisher didn't really do much damage. Not a good thing with a finisher. So Sasha's on the rope, the ref gets Bayley to back off. But then we get to see Sasha Banks' new finisher, which I absolutely adore. It's a backstabber, but instead of just hitting the backstabber, she hits it and manages to lock her hands round her, flipping her over onto her front as she does a backwards roll, and goes into a crossface. Bayley taps out, lovely submission finisher, and this is a really good women's match. Outside of Paige, this has been the best one I've seen this year. Whoa, 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 whoa. Next we get the Exotic Express. Adam Rose is on his way into the ring. Danny Birch is already in there. He's got his entourage with him. Kind of actually misses his whoa cues on the way down, but it's fine. The crowd are still so into this gimmick. Once Adam Rose is in the ring, he runs around the ring, and as he heads towards a rope, he just goes, and the crowd in that area go, woo! Then he runs over to the next side, woo! Woo! And does this loads of times, and the crowd are so into this. And then once he's finished doing this, we get, we are rosebuds. We are rosebuds. Again, crowd so into this. Danny Birch and Adam Rose start this match off. Adam Rose shows some of his unique style, which again is is actually a lot of the World of Sport era moves from old school British 80s wrestling. Because Danny Birch goes for a grab, and Adam Rose rolls and 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 back onto his feet. It just frustrates Danny Birch, but Danny Birch eventually manages to get a hold of him and rams Adam Rose's face into the turnbuckle. But this doesn't hurt him. This makes Adam Rose angry. And he basically hulks up, hits a succession of punches on Danny Birch. He's also added a Bronco Buster. So instead of doing his choo-choo clothesline finisher, which I'm glad is done, he goes choo-choo and runs into a Bronco Buster, just hitting the one hit and rolling away. Because we don't want to happen to him what happened to X-Pac, where he ripped open his rectum. Not a nice thing to happen. And then we get Adam Rose's new finisher. So far he's used a choo-choo clothesline, which is gone. And last time I saw him, he used the second rope Bret Hart elbow drop, which is gone. And this time he used a much better finisher, which is a little bit too similar to Curtis Axel's finisher. Basically, it's a cravat. Head in here, and facebuster. While Curtis Axel's is around the head, make them turn backwards, facebuster. Quite similar, but I think just given the characters, they're probably not going to intermingle too much, and I think it's got enough of a difference to it for it to not be too big of an issue. In fairness, back in the day we used to have lots of wrestlers with the same finishers, and that would actually be storylines. Psycho Sid versus Vader, whose powerbomb was better. Good little rivalry of the Attitude Era. Hits his finisher and pins Danny Birch. Sadly I also heard today that Danny Birch has been released from NXT. I'm not overly shocked. I think Danny Birch, or as I know him in Britain, Martin Stone, fantastic wrestler. But unfortunately for his style and his look, he's shy 6 foot. He's not in the higher echelons. And just with his look and style, it doesn't really suit a guy that size in WWE, unfortunately. Despite him being such an amazing talent. So I'll actually be quite excited to see him back on the indie circuit. While Adam Rose is celebrating, Camacho attacks some of his entourage, who are on the outside of the ring. So it looks like these two are going to have their rivalry come to a head, hopefully on the next NXT. And hopefully just get it over and done with. I couldn't care less about Camacho. But getting a bit more depth into Adam Rose's character will be interesting, especially because he seems to be... Oh my god! How could I forget? Adam Rose is going to be on Raw next week. Unless I'm absolutely wrong, Adam Rose is going to be on Raw next week. So this is actually very, very interesting, starting off a NXT rivalry and about to debut on Raw. We'll see if he suddenly disappears from NXT. And the next match pisses me off. So Paige gets the woman's title taken away from her because she's not really on NXT, because she's gone off, she's going to be travelling the world as the Divas champion. So of course it makes sense to put Natalya, one of your top divas, in this tournament. That's the stupidest thing in the world. So, what, if she wins this, she's then going to stop touring on the WWE roster and just become an NXT champion? Then why the hell was Paige stripped of the title? This is stupid. And to top off this stupidity, we get Layla against her. What the absolute feckity-fuckity feck. She's another talent on the roster, on the main roster. Why are you having two main roster talents wrestling on NXT, the future? We don't want the present, or with Layla, just something that's around. Why didn't you split this up, have Bayley versus Layla, and Sasha versus Natalya? That would have made far much more sense in this, and have the two NXT people go over. This just annoys me, and frankly, the NXT Divas match was far better than this match. This was a sloppy match. Layla is one of the worst communicators I've seen in wrestling. I'm going to be honest. Wrestling is an act. It's predetermined, but the point and the enjoyment is from the suspension of belief, which you cannot do if Layla is blatantly talking into Natalya's ears. I know everyone now, here and there, you'll catch a wrestler speak or just see a little obvious, but this is the most I've ever seen it in one match. I think it's like 3 different occasions you could see her talking, and just absolutely blatant. There's no turn of the head to cover it. She is just looking at her, talking in her ear. It's ridiculous. Eventually Natalya hits the sharpshooter and gets the win. At least it's Natalya that's advancing in this tournament, so we will get a Sasha Banks versus Natalya. But we could have had that this week, and then we could have also had a Layla versus Bayley match. I do not know how many people are in this tournament. I do hope we get a few more showings, and I'm quite interested in seeing like Eddie Guerrero's child in here, because she did a little video on like Women's Power Month in America, whatever they have. I haven't actually seen her on TV, and of course it's a Guerrero name. You want to see what they can do. Then we get Oliver Gray, who again has been sadly released from NXT. So I don't know if we'll see him many more times after this, or this will be his last showing. Which is such a shame, he literally just came back from injury. But again, another good talent, not on the echelon of Martin Stone, but a good solid worker. I don't think I've actually ever heard him speak, but damn good wrestler. But for God's sake, he's against Mojo Riley. I really do not like this man. He's a pointless farce, in my opinion. He's just a big guy that basically kind of does an Ultimate Warrior gimmick of just running and being, I'm full of energy, I don't need coffee. And that's it, he runs around a lot and he has lots of energy. The crowd seem to like him, but I just don't see a damn bit of depth to him. Basically, this is just a squash match. He just gets in there, beats up Oliver Gray, hits him with a Divas move, the rear view, and then hits the Earthquake sitting pin for the win. Just rubbish. But then Aiden English comes out, my saviour, the artiste of NXT, comes down to the ring and tells us of his goal to remove all the stupid things in NXT, starting with Mojo Riley, and telling him to get off his stage. And when Mojo is looking to the crowd, Adrian gets in the ring and attacks him from behind. Unfortunately, Mojo manages to get the better of this exchange and whips Adrian out to the outside. But yeah, hopefully this will give them a feud. And then Mojo, you can prove me wrong. Let's see you actually do more than a 2-second match against Aiden English. Let's see if you actually have some talent in you. And on to our main event. They tell us that last week Adrian Neville had 3 teeth knocked out. Bloody brutal. So this week he's going to be wrestling with a mouth shield, shield guard, mouth guard, gum guard, guard. Basically he's got an orange thing in his mouth that stops his teeth getting knocked out again. Because they're probably, I think they said they're fake teeth now put in there. And he is going to be fighting Brodus Clay. Big BC monstrous Brodus Clay. I like Brodus Clay's new gimmick because he is a huge guy. And this does suit him better. He is like an absolute thug. And it's kind of how he is, like he was. His claim to fame is he was Snoop Dogg's bouncer for a while. And he seems quite into that sort of life, that rapping, yeah, dreadlocks, and just his whole new look, his new music, just suits him. I won't be too shocked if this comes onto Raw much sooner than later. And I do love the entrance they've given Adrian Neville with this like weird techie rain going on. It's actually quite like fast-paced, dancey kind of techno music, and then the steam that's lighted and shoots up from the sides. Good entrance, does the impact he needs. This is also going to be a no DQ match, which isn't really going to be as much in the match, but it's rare to get stipulations in NXT. And before the bell rings, Adrian Neville is going at Brodus Clay. Manages to attack him, gets Brodus to bail out the ring, and Adrian Neville, just being the crazy flying man he is, the man that gravity forgot, does a headfirst flip over the top rope, managing to rotate in midair, hit Brodus Clay and land perfectly on his feet. I cannot wait until he is on the main roster and like him and Seth Rollins can have some mental matches. They're both back in the ring. This time the bell's rung and Adrian Neville is actually dominating for this point in the match. He's managing to keep Brodus Clay down with a series of nice kicks to him. Even goes up for the red arrow, but it's a bit too soon. Brodus Clay manages to roll away. Adrian Neville then gets on the other turnbuckle and just goes for a... I assume it must have been some sort of jumping clothesline, jumping forearm he seems to use. But Brodus catches him with the headbutt, and this launches him into the corner. And then Brodus Clay is in charge. And Brodus Clay does do heel really well. He's big and strong, but he's also, for his size, he is quite agile and quite fast. We also then, from the NXT crowd, we get "Please don't eat him. Please don't eat him." And also with a powerbomb, we get a "Better than Batista" powerbomb chant. And after he hits the powerbomb, he climbs up onto the second rope and delivers a splash. A huge powerbomb and a splash to Adrian Neville from the 300+ pounder. 1, 2, and I was bloody shocked to see Adrian Neville kick out of that. I did not think he was going to do that. A powerbomb and then a splash from Brodus Clay off the top. I did not expect him to kick out. I was shocked, so happy that they're actually letting Adrian Neville have such sort of a powerful character. Brodus Clay, of course, is not happy with this turn of events. Rolls out the ring, and he sees it. He goes and gets Adrian Neville's NXT title. It's a big gold X, basically. Rolls into the ring, and he's measuring up Adrian Neville, charges at him with the title belt, but Adrian Neville manages to kick it back into Brodus Clay's face. Brodus Clay's down. Adrian Neville climbs to the top, and then delivers his beautiful red arrow. The shooting star press with a full turn. Such a beautiful move. And pins Brodus Clay to retain his NXT championship. This was a damn good match. WWE let these two guys go at it, and both of them look strong. You don't just have to have small people getting crushed by big people. There are legit ways to have them fight against them. This is how you should do it, WWE. Damn, thank you for this amazing, amazing match. Brodus Clay is looking good here. He's a solid worker. I think he's ready to go back on the roster and start a really good, powerful heel run. Maybe get him involved with someone else, like he was Alberto's bodyguard for a while. He could do that for someone. Maybe not Alberto. He could even be actually a fairly good Paul Heyman guy, or someone with a manager, someone that can talk for him. And this just shows Adrian Neville can hang. If he's able to fight a 300+ pounder, he's going to look legit against anyone and look good against anyone. So again, I can't wait until he comes up on the actual roster and they give him a good chance. That was a fantastic NXT. Especially the main event was really, really good. So happy with it. And I'm quite excited to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks, because we've got a few NXT stars coming up onto the main roster. So that means there's going to be some gaps with some new talent coming in. But that is all I have to say. And until next week, TTFN.